Hey everybody, it's Friday, January 9th, 2008. Thanks for stopping by. Just got back from Turkey. I was there for 3 weeks in Ankara. Had a great time, but there was a lot of anger and a lot of sadness over the attack by Israel on the civilian population in Gaza. And just to be clear, people there don't hate America, they don't hate Americans, but they are angry because of our foreign policy, and they're angry because of the policy of the government of Israel, which is violating people's human rights. And they're angry not because Israel is a Jewish state, but because Israel is violating people's human rights and killing people. That's the reason why they're angry. The basic timeline of this is that Israel blockaded Gaza because they elected Hamas and Israel did not like it. So they brokered a ceasefire, or Egypt brokered a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, where Hamas would not fire rockets and Israel would cease aggressive actions and lift the blockade. Israel never lived up to its part of the bargain. It never lifted the blockade. It continued to attack people in Gaza. The latest attack was the one where they killed 6 people, and this is what caused the people in Hamas to start firing rockets again. If you look at all the facts, it's pretty clear that Israel goaded Hamas into firing more rockets, and then Israel massacred people in Gaza as in response. They've bombed UN school building, they bombed a hospital, children's hospital, they bombed they fired on a UN truck and killed the driver, even though they knew it was a UN truck. The UN told them what they were doing. They were waiting there for the right time to move from the Israeli army, and the Israeli army just killed that man and destroyed his truck, not because he was carrying weapons, but because he was carrying food and medicine for people in Gaza. This is the truth of the conflict. If you watch TV in other parts of the world, like I watched TV in Turkey, and there were, it was everywhere. It was on every newspaper. It was on every TV channel. And you see the reality of the conflict, but when you turn to an English language channel, you get nothing but nonsense, garbage, and lies. It's like you're watching a different world when you go to CNN or any American or British news source. It's just nonsense. Every other channel is asking, when is Israel going to end its attack on Gaza? But in the U.S. they're asking, when is Hamas going to stop attacking Israel? Which is a ridiculous question to ask. Israel is in control of this. Let's face it. The people with the nuclear bombs and the aircraft carriers and, not aircraft carriers, but you get where I'm going with this. The people with all the big guns are not the victims of the refugees with homemade rockets. The refugees with homemade rockets are the victims of the people who have F-15s, believe it or not. I know it's shocking. It's hard to get. But the people with the nuclear bombs and the fighter aircraft and the tanks are not being pushed around by people with rocks and homemade grenades. Try and believe it if you can. I know it's outlandish. The people with the nuclear bombs and the aircraft and the jet aircraft could have stopped this from happening if they really wanted to, but they didn't. They wanted an excuse to go into Gaza. They goaded Hamas. They goaded the people in Gaza. They starved them. They denied them medical care until they finally had enough and got angry enough to lash out and give Israel a pretext to massacre them. This is what's happening. I mean, you've got people in the largest concentration camp in the world. They can't leave. They can't get things from outside. They're starving. And they're basically in a cage, and Israel is bombing them in their cage. And children are dying every day. When the Nazis were busy pushing people into extermination camps, I'm sure they had debates about this in Germany. Not public debates, but in private. If you were German, you could say, ooh, maybe this isn't right. Maybe I don't support this. And you could be an opponent of the Nazis. It wasn't a very safe thing to do. It was pretty dangerous. But if you were in Germany before the fall of Nazi Germany, you could oppose this, and some people did. You could put your name down with those who disagreed and take your chances. You would have been a very brave, courageous person to do that. But you could have done it and said, I don't agree, I don't think that we should kill all these people for no reason. When Nazi Germany fell in 1945, that option was over. The Germans could no longer register themselves with those of us who are human beings and, above extermination of other human beings. It just wasn't possible. Maybe some of those people, they said, well, I went along because I was scared, but deep inside I knew it was wrong and I didn't like it. But nobody believed them. Nobody took any of it seriously. If you were a German who lived at that time and you did not do something against the Nazis before Nazi Germany ended, you were a damned soul to the rest of the world. From then on out, there was no way anybody would ever look at you and not see Auschwitz and all those other things. So I guess what I'm telling you guys out there right now is this is going to end sooner or later. The Palestinian people will win. Mark my words. This regime will fall because it's evil and what it's doing is wrong and it will not stand. So right now you have a chance, and compared to the people in Nazi Germany, it's a really, really easy choice. You can put yourself down as a supporter of human rights for everybody, including Palestinians, right now, and save yourself. If you don't, when this thing ends, after it's over, people will never, ever forgive you if you didn't. There's going to be two types of people in this world: people who stood up for what's right and people who didn't. And if you're not one of the people who stood up and said this is wrong, now you won't ever have that chance again. So, we don't have to save the Palestinian people. They're going to save themselves. We have to save ourselves from what's coming. If you don't want to be condemned for the rest of your life, don't support evil now. While you still have a chance, oppose it. When the evil falls, you're going to go down with it if you didn't. Thanks for watching.